I was a jihadist. I went to Afghanistan, did training, military jihadist training. My teenage has been taken by Islamists. I don't have any Muslim friends. They're all cut off. No one invited me on Eid. No one invited me on their marriages, parties. No one invited me in their mournings or their any funerals. But it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Someone has to come forward without realizing their cost of the telling the truth or to stand with the truth.
Today's guest studies extremism not just from the outside, but from deep inside the system itself. He is the founder of the Islamic Theology of Counterterrorism, a UK-based think tank focused on understanding and countering extremist ideology using theology, not politics. As radicalization moves online, targets younger people, and becomes harder to detect, his work focuses on the patterns most people don't see until it's too late. Noor, Dahri, thank you for joining me.
Honor is mine, Daniel. Thank you very much for bringing me in.
If extremism was happening around you right now, you probably wouldn't notice it, right? Why is that? Why does it actually look like what does it look like in the very beginning before anyone realizes it?
Well, Daniel, extremism is based on thoughts. Majority, the Islamist extremism is based on the religious thoughts, ideas, opinions, and people's mindset are completely changed. And clerics are using religious texts to indoctrinate youngsters because youngsters' minds are very pre-stages. Do you understand? Early stage. Their minds are not mature, so people can easily indoctrinate, easily drawn into extremism and in the hand of religious clerics, especially in the West. So it's very hard to assess someone is radicalized or not unless he is shown through his actions, profiling. But it's very hard because this is a combination of thoughts, religious thoughts. Okay, I've seen many people who are very secular, very moderate people, and suddenly they changed. They start wearing religious thobes, which is I'm not generalized on Muslims. I'm talking about specific people who become extremists quickly. Then attitude has been changed. They disconnect friendship from non-Muslims. They had girls. They start talking to girls. They start shaking hands with women. Do you understand? They start celebrating their days like birthdays, wedding, and their dancings and drinking. They completely stop, and they become more reserved themselves and start going into the more in a madrasa and Islam institutions rather than clubs, social parties. So these are the few factors people can judge this person has changed itself from as a moderate and secular Muslim into the extremism. Extremism here, there are different type of extremism. Extremism does not mean that the person has become at extremism, they get harmful. There are different stages of extremism. Some extremists they change, they become a reserve themselves, they don't harm other people. Some people try to impose their ideas, religious ideas to other people. Then they start judging other people through the religious angles. And the worst form of extremism, then they take action, they get law in their hand. And through their actions, and these actions we call crimes, and these are higher crime of terrorism, these actions. So it's very hard. Pre-stage is very hard to judge the person become extremist or not, unless there are different stages, go through different stages, and then he can be visible. And this is why these lack of understanding, lack of tracing people, how many people have become extremists. And like 8 years ago, MI5 director in United Kingdom, he gave an interview and he said there are 25,000 Islamic extremists walking among us in United Kingdom. And unfortunately, they have not lack of resources to trace and follow each single person every day, because it's every person's follow and traces. It need a higher resources, 24 hours, 2 to 3 people to track and trace their footsteps. And these people he mentioned, 25,000, are non-extremists. There's extremist level of What about early and pre-level of extremism? Obviously, if you count, there will be the more maybe 100,000 people. So yes, it's a difficult task. It's a difficult task.
Is it possible that a person can be reversed? This process can be reversed, meaning he's becoming radicalized, and then you can reverse that process? Or once he starts down that path, it's very hard to stop it?
Yes, there are many examples, many examples, not even one, several examples. The extremists in UK, in the West, all different countries, they reverse themselves and back to the normal life. And there are cases like even the jihadists, they reverse themselves. Those, I mean, again, jihadists have a different type of jihads level and stages. Some jihadists, like, they have just done military training, jihadist training, but they did not participate any act of terrorism. Those even and the higher level of jihadists, those who have themselves committed an act of terrorism, is still, and then some of those people have reversed before arresting, some after arresting, went through radicalization, de-radicalization process, not in the West, but in the Arab countries. In Saudi Arabia, there are so many examples. There are hundreds of ISIS terrorists that have been reversed back into the society in Saudi Arabia, and even as well in Indonesia as well. They have a rehabilitation in the centers, and they have a de-radicalization program, very successful. Unfortunately, the de-radicalization program in the West, especially in the UK, is a very weak, and I can say is a failed. Unfortunately, we have seen that jihadists were arrested and they completed a rehabilitation course, de-radicalization course, and the authorities have given them the green signals, and they release. And after soon they released on the payroll, they have committed an act of terrorism such as Westminster terrorist attack and the London Bridge terrorist attack, and these both were in prison, and they have been successfully completed their radicalization course. And they were given this green signal, but after that, they have committed acts of terrorism. So yes, it depends on a person's motives, depend on person's willpower, depend on person's knowledge and understanding, how they have taken this their radicalization program. Okay, again, I can say it's ideological matter. Some people, like these people, can London Bridge and Westminster Terrace, they have committed an act, but over there they shown fact wrongly that they have become they are radicalized. But after that, is proved wrong, that they did not complete it like their mindset. They still were radicalized and they committed an act of terrorism. But yes, there are hundreds of people they have completely de-radicalized after drawn into extremism, Daniel.
Mhm. Does it seem like nowadays people are becoming radicalized faster due to internet, social media, and things like that? Is that making it a faster process to become radicalized?
Daniel, social media is called information warfare. Most majority of the information warfare, social media, they are information which classified as disinformation and as well as misinformation. And people are blindly, youngsters as well, without having a proper research and check and balance, they believe blindly. All the disinformation and misinformation specifically comes about the conflicts in the Middle East, where US or Israel are directly or indirectly involved. Their people do not do any research, but they're drawn into that extremism, and they change their mind and even their attitude, verbally or physically, against certain community on social media or on the ground. So yes, social media is very dangerous tool to radicalize youngsters. And nowadays, it has become a very dangerous and very fast tool to make someone radicalized through the content presented by jihadist clerics, Islamists, anti-Semitics. So yes, and it's very dangerous. And still, authorities have not a sufficient tool to counter disinformation and misinformation properly, effectively, completely. Not yet. We haven't seen that.
Now, how much influence do friends, family, community have on, whether a person's going to be radicalized or not? Do they have any control over this process?
Western children are very independent, Daniel. Okay. There's no doubt. We always say there was a hadith, Prophet Muhammad, hadith, hadith means sayings. Prophet Muhammad said that parenting house or parent are the first school of the child. And it's true. Everyone believes that children learn first stages, they learn from their parents. Okay. And then they go to outside the home schools and friends, circles, environment, atmosphere, they affect their actions and mindset as well. So, and again, it's depend on the situation and depend on what type of grievance they create in their mind. If we talk about Israel conflict or Palestinian conflict, then I can say yes, 100%. Parents have play a very crucial role to radicalize, but they don't believe that they are radicalizing them their children. They say this is a right, political right to provide information, hateful information about Israel to their Muslim children, but actually they don't understand that they themselves parents have been radicalized, and they are passing through the same ideology, same teaching, and same ideas, and into their children to hate against Israel. And this hate against, because obviously they do not harm anything. They don't travel Israel to harm Israelis, but what they do, some of them, they started harming local Jewish communities across the West. So this is a sign of the worst of radicalization. Any action, religiously or politically motivated, any action which has been committed in order to harm a certain or specific community or person or individual or property to achieve their political, is actually terrorism. So, and what I believe, anti-Semitism is a form of the terrorism. Form of the terrorism, but the states do not believe. The state believe this is a hateful action committed by the people. I can understand. But these same hate created actions, politically actions, religiously actions motivate, and this is type of terrorism as well. So like Abu Bakr Baghdadi or Osama bin Laden or Ismail Hania or Hassan Nasrallah. What do you think? They people are jihadists. They are anti-Semitic as well. So they're all ideas based on hate against Western people, against non-Muslims, particularly against Israelis. So these all jihadis are anti-Semitic. Not necessarily anti-Semitic. All anti-Semitic are jihadists, but yes, all jihadis are anti-Semitic. So yes, parenting, friends, families, specifically the schools, friends, they motivate people, their friends, a lot drawn into the extremism, specifically the involved in cross-border conflicts, specifically the Middle Eastern ones. Yes.
You mentioned it seems like there's more anti-Semitic incidents when Israel is at war. I think because people correlate Israel's war with Jews worldwide. But this doesn't happen with any other race or country. When Russia is at war, for example, Russians are not targeted all over the world, right? So it's, what do you think it is specifically about Israel and the Jews that targets them and puts them together in one basket?
Then it's very good question, actually, my friend. This is what we are always saying. Why particularly Jews? There are conflict. Like Iraq has killed more Kurdish. Turkey had killed more Kurdish than Israelis, Palestinians killed in the Israel conflict. Or Syrians, Assad regime have killed more than 1 million Syrians. No protests, no strikes, no destabilizing the political and democratic system, no jamming the streets, no hateful chantings, nothing else. Why? Why? Because they always say, unfortunately, no Jews, no news. They understand. This is a hate. It was created for decades of people's mind. They don't care any other conflicts, whether conflicts between European countries or non-European countries, conflict between Middle Eastern countries politically, or conflict between one Muslim country to another Muslim country, or even there people are using used chemical gases against civilians. Muslims, the Western, especially Westerners, they don't care. But any one bullet come out of the IDF soldier towards Palestinians. They don't research, they don't care about who Palestinian was. Was he terrorist? Was he criminals? Was he the attacker? No, they straight away start blaming Israelis, that they are baby killers. They are anti-Islam. They are against Muslims. This and that. There's so many. They control the World Bank. They control world. They control banking system. They control governments. They control media. These are accusations are now not new. Specifically, when we people, experts, intellectual people, when I read the history, these are the same accusations were created by the Nazis in Germany. Actually, same accusations, same blames. They are ongoing against you. Wherever the Jews are going, living across the world, these accusation blames are unfortunately following them days and nights. And is anything some happening? Obviously, people come out with their reason. They starting blaming, claiming, against the Jews, Israelis, try to harm Israeli Jews across the world by any means, put pressure on the democratic Western governments to change their narrative, political narrative, or trade or deals, and reconsider their decisions with the state of Israel. They do not understand that Israel is the same country as a Western country, and Israel has a democratic right to defend the country, the people, and their society against terrorists. If the such type of terrorism happens in the US or UK or any other Western or even Asian or Arab countries, they will come out with extreme force without realizing any human rights of other people. But they don't realize that the IDF has, what is called is follow all human rights principles. I understand the war's mistakes happens. The war, obviously, war bullets doesn't know, who is a person other side. But yes, these claims, blames against Jews are on and on for over the century. It's nothing new. If you ask any single Jew, the Jewish person, he will say, "We born with these blames." Actually, born with these blames. Even their parents or their grandparents born with these blames, unfortunately. And if this type of attitude will not be countered properly, I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, the future generation of Jews will be facing the same type of hate and the blames again. So unfortunately, is now before were Nazis, Europeans, and now our Muslim community, without realizing, without thinking, and following the same Nazis ideology and really embarrassment.
Mhm. Now, you've personally taken a public stand against this extremism, against anti-Semitism. What compelled you to do this, and what did it cost you personally?
Daniel, maybe you know it, or some of audience they don't know about that. I was personally involved in. I was drawn into Islamist extremism when back in Pakistan when I was a teenage. I was a jihadist. I went to Afghanistan, did a training, military jihadist training. Thanks God, I didn't commit any act of criminal actions, similar crime or higher crime or terrorism. Thanks God. I personally the victim of the, Islamization, victim of the jihadization. I know better than those people who have just educational experience and field experience behind the computer. I was in the field myself. I'm drawn into extremism, jihadization. I spent years in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and I can better understand the mindset of the jihadists, extremists. My teenage were ruined already when I was drawn into extremism. These were the years I could have studied more in university, I could have made my future more bright. That time I was, but it's gone. My teenage has been taken by Islamists. But I don't want this new generation. I don't want to see them to drawn into extremism. I don't feel comfortable to see my community youngsters drawn and take the same path which I had taken in the past wrongly by mistake. So what I say, it's not easy. It's not an easy path. It's not. Specifically, there are two type of extremist experts in the West, especially in the United Kingdom. One, those are extremists who are working tirelessly counter the extremist narratives politically, religiously, their grievances through any means, writing books, speeches, delivering lectures. And they are working on against Islamist extremism, terrorism, radicalization, again of jihadist organizations. But when I have seen, which I'm talking, I do not take name. I don't want to take name. I have seen few extremists and few counter expert on radicalization, Islamic extremism. I was very impressed by their work, and still I'm impressed. They have done a very incredible work against counter Islamist narratives. But unfortunately, I have seen those experts, Muslim experts, drawn in the different type of extremism when they support Hamas resistance or indirectly or they openly criticized Israeli actions against Hamas, condemning Israel, blaming Israel, same like a jihadist blames. It's really, really, Daniel shocked me. I was very shocked. I'm very surprised that these people, I was inspired by them. These people, I was reading them and giving their name as examples, Muslim experts against Islamist extremism. They were drawn into extremism themselves. And when there's conflict between Hamas or Islamist Palestinian extremists, terrorist jihadists versus Israel, they stand with anti-Israeli domain groups, organizations, people, and condemn, criticize Israel in exactly the same way the jihad and Islamist critics and condemning. This really shocked me. What type of experts you are? You spend decades countering Islamist extremism in the West. You haven't done any research to find out the Israel-Palestinian conflict. You know the truth, but you don't. You have no courage to speak against those terrorists and stand with Israel because you are afraid of losing your credibility among the Muslim community, or losing your or fear of damaging your personal influence or personal connections, network, or afraid of giving sacrifice of your loved ones. This is a path. This is people. Tell the truth and stand against the false. This in the Quran say, "Wajal haq, wajal haq," and it says it's like in the Quran says like stand with the haq, all right, and reject the falsehood. Yes, so Daniel, what I'm trying to say, it's a difficult path. I can easily focus on counter Islamism in the UK and live a very comfortable and very easy and peaceful life among Muslims, like others do. But I chose a different path. Not only counter Islamic extremism, but counter anti-Semitism. Counter hate not only in the UK but across the world. Counter hate not only in the Middle East or Western, but specifically in Israel. Counter the Palestinian Islamist. I'm not talking Islamist jihadist Palestinians in Gaza, in the West Bank, who are daily try to attack Israelis. This path is not easy path. You have to. I have sacrificed so many things. So many things. Obviously, my parents, my father, my brothers, sisters, cousins, friends. Even in UK, I can't freely walk in the Muslim areas. I cannot freely pray in the mosque. I cannot freely exercise my political right in the United Kingdom to openly speak against Hamas or stand with Israel openly in the street of United Kingdom. Unfortunately, this is a great price. This is a great price I'm paying. And I don't have any, honestly, I don't have any Muslim friends. They're all cut off. No one invited me on their celebrations. No one invited me on Eid. No one invited me on their marriages, parties. No one invited me in their mournings or their any funerals. No, I'm completely social boycotted. But it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Someone has to come forward without realizing their cost of the telling the truth or to stand with the truth. So yeah, it's not easy path, and I can understand those Islamic extremists, Islamists, counter expert on counter extremists, Muslims living in London, Birmingham, Manchester, Sheffield, and different parts of UK, and who have no courage, fear of. I can understand. But what I'm saying, then do not choose this. If you are afraid of something and you are taking a pick and choose something you have to take and something you have to give it, then this path is not like a pick and choose. You have to go in front and forward and don't look at back without looking any without thinking or realizing consequences caused of anything. You have to sacrifice. The prophet, this is the path of the prophet, what I believe as a religious person. Whether it's a Moses, look at the Moses. When he stood with the Jewish people, he gave sacrifice everything. Everything. He was a prince in a Pharaoh's house, Daniel. He was a prince, crown prince kind of thing. He gave up everything. Kingdom, everything he gave up and took his people. So these are the old prophets. Abraham, he was only alone. He stood against his father, against his entire pagan nation. Look at the prophet Muhammad. He stood against all entire clan and Arab Peninsula. These prophets. So if we believe in the prophets, then we have to be. So if we believe that we are following the prophet's path, the prophet path is not easy. Then you have to be realize that you will be, and the day comes you will be very alone and single. And the day will come, then you will have everything, but that everything will not be from your own family. Everything you will have from across the world will follow your ideology. So yes, I have given a very sacrifice, given of sacrifices. But look at my family is not only my family. My family is from Israel. I have my family. I have a family from US. I have a family from UK. I have a family from different part of the world. So all people who are supporting me, my work, and wherever I go, they give me respect and dignity. They are my family. They are my friends.
We Jewish people are touched by your courage, and definitely you are part of our family.
Thank you very much. It's my honor. It's really my honor. Really my honor. This honor is mine. Definitely.
Now, you recently visited Auschwitz with a Muslim delegation. What did that experience do to you personally? How did that make you feel? And how did that change the way you see the things in the world today?
Then I have read so many books about anti-Semitism. I watched so many documentary films, and obviously, since I connected with Israel, I know a lot about Holocaust. Read so many research papers, but never visited Auschwitz. I didn't have a chance to visit Auschwitz last 12 years since I started supporting Israel. I didn't have a chance, unfortunately. This was the first time I went over there, and I can't say it my very great pleasure. I can say this: the place Auschwitz was most horrific and disgusting place I have ever seen and visited in my entire life. It reminds me the cries of innocent children, the horrific feelings and pain and grief of innocent women, young and old Jewish people who were mercilessly murdered, systematically slaughtered. The word genocide is a very, very easy word. Genocide word is a very normal word. I don't have any word that I can use. It was a systematic cleansing. This wasn't a murder. This was not murder of the human life. It was elimination of entire, wiping out uh, the the Jewishness, the idea of the Jewishness. It was a mass murder of their dreams. It was an unsuccessful attempt of erasing the Jewish civilization, history, religion, culture, language, tradition. This is what I call Jewishness. So people can't, no any single person remain in the world who call themselves, I'm a Jewish. And what I have seen, there was pictures, there was film documentaries, Nazis, and I've seen women's hairs they use in their textiles. I've seen the glasses of people's opticals, thousands of thousands. I've seen crutches of old people's, disabled people's boots. I've seen the ports they were using. I've seen the death march 200 kilometers. Hungary, they were marching. There was a one part of march. Then it starts 500 kilometers, then 700 kilometers. Gas chambers. And the one was a horrific thing, Daniel, I've seen. The building number 10. There was a live experiment on the medical experiment on people. I can't believe it. They cut their veins. They cut their body parts live, and they ask them question: how much pain do you feel? Do you feel how much pain? They were experimenting the pain of the live people. This is a horrific thing. This is called the Holocaust. People don't understand the horrific scenes. The horrific, I can't say is years. And a normal human being can think about this minutes, not days, minutes and seconds. The people face the pain created by the Nazis, experiment Nazis on them, their children, innocent children, gas chambers. And honestly, Daniel, I'm very frankly, I'm telling you, I wish not to go again. I can't bear this pain. And let me tell you one thing. There were so many delegations from different countries, all US, UK, across all Europe, West, East, South Europe, Central Europe, UK, all delegations. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any single delegation of Muslims from Muslim country. Any single, no way. And I was talking to Imam Shalhumi, and I said, Imam, there are more than 7,000, around 7,000 to 8,000 people. Only a few, 10, 15, we Muslims. I mean, there were 2-3 groups, Sharaka group, our group, Elnet group, other group. 3 groups were like 15, 20 Muslims, scholars, theologians, Islamic theologians, religious people, and these all people, we all were. And we didn't have any delegation. We have more than 1 billion Muslims, Daniel. More than 52 Muslim countries. And unfortunately, no one is staying with the Jewish people. Forget about Israel conflict now. Forget about it. It's a new conflict. Ignore it. Go back to 80 years, 85 years back. There was no Israel that time. There was no conflict with them. There's only the Jewish people versus entire Europe. And now no one can pay any sympathy to them. No even the person to come and visit. No any Muslim church could come to the, to show show the empathy, sympathy to the Jewish people that we are with you. We feel your pain. We feel your grief. It was a really, really embarrassment for me. Honestly, where is our humanity? We believe that we Muslims we believe our religion is a very peaceful religion. We believe that the Prophet Muhammad is a mercy to the mankind. Where is mercy? Where is mercy? Where you were? When every year the Jewish people remember, and they will continue to remember until the day of judgment, till the last day of God created. They will remember every year. They will remember their loved ones, how their history was completely try to attempt to erase the history of the Jewish. Where are the Muslims? They say, "Oh, we support. We are not against the Jews." So where you are, if you're not against Jews, I cannot describe my feelings. Till the day I visited, I feel very embarrassed. And when I come across any Muslims, they are going Makkah, Medina, Hajj, Umrah, pilgrimage every year, once, twice, three times. They have a British, American, Canadian, European passport. They can travel across the more than 140, 160 countries all around the world without any single visa. They don't have any courage to go and ask. We can see, bring there, and those all anti-Semitic. They're all Islamist, all anti-Semitic Muslims. I'm not saying Islamist. Not all anti-Semitic are Islamists, right? Those all anti-Semitic Muslims in the UK or Europe and Canada, America, I can say to them, okay, you hate Israel, no problem. Okay, that's your political right. You hate the Jews, that you doesn't have a right to hate the Jews, but you are hating the Jews, okay, no problem. Once for God's sake, once bring your family, your children, your loved ones, your close circles, your old one, your fathers, mothers, grandparents, your wives, your children, grandchildren, come and Auschwitz, visit and show them their history and ask their children what did happen to them. How do you think? Was it justified? Then your children will read everything. Their Western children read everything. They will answer you. The date, whatever happened is horrific. And they come back and sit with the Jewish people. They are crying every year. They are crying. So remember this one. For God's sake, I will say, for God's sake, hate for long. For how long you will continue this hate against a specific community? For how long? They have sacrificed. Not now. Holocaust is only the modern genocide. They are genocide for the last 5,000 to 7,000 years. Even in the land of the British Palestine, there were pogroms. Even the pogroms in the Muslim Arab countries, there were not a single Jew living in Arab countries. 1 million people have been expelled from the Middle East. Why? Because they are Jews. Is it fairness? This is no fairness. They are human. It's unfair. And still you are criticizing every single Jew across the world. No Jews, no news. What is this? This hate for how long you continue this hate? I can ask this question to my Muslim family. How long? Whatever happened to Holocaust with the Jewish people, 0.1%, God forbid, 0.1% of that happened to the Muslim community, you will cry for all the entire time of the universe till the day of judgment. You will cry for only 0.1% happened. Look at their patience, look at their resilience. They still survive, still love life. While they are still remembering these Holocaust ruins and what happened, dark history for thousand years, they're passing through to their generations what happened to us because being a Jew, and they still thrive, survive, spend their time to live like a human being, and spend their time day and night inventions to serve the humanity. Danny, I'm sorry I become emotional, but I'm saying I'm very impressed. I feel very embarrassed when I saw when I didn't see in 7,000 people any single delegate from across Muslim country. I really felt.
Yeah. Now, you also visited Israel several times. You've been there with the Muslim delegation. Like we can say, you visited the darkest point in Jewish history, which was Auschwitz, but you've also visited the Pride Point, which is the country of Israel, and how much it's grown in this short span of time to become such a strong country. How did it feel like for you to be in Israel? What was it like? If you have any thoughts to share about what those trips are like, and maybe for those people who have never been to Israel, they can understand what it's really like from somebody who's been there, not from what they're saying on social media or in the news.
Daniel, when I say I've been a few times in Israel, honestly, and whenever I go there, I feel that like it's like my home. It's like my home country. I feel more safe over there. I feel more loved ones over there. I have so many friends and followers from every walk of life. And what I've seen is not about treatment, how they are, the treatment to me, myself, but I always go to see their treatment for other communities, other cultures, other religions, other nations living over there. I spoke to so many people, Christians, Muslims, Arabs, Jews, different type of Jews, what another community, Druze,
Jerusalem.
Druze, and Druze as well. I think, when Israel said that it's only the democracy, only the democratic country in the Middle East, they're now saying in when they proved it is the only democratic country in the Middle East where people have absolute, when I use word absolute political and religious right to express, they have absolute equal right to walk in the street without any discrimination between Muslims, Christians, Druze, and Jews. People work together, honestly. Those people who don't believe me, okay, don't believe me. You have a Western passports, British passport, Canadian, American passport, okay, buy ticket, go, you look, have a look at it. But I tell you one thing, whatever you see, honestly, swear to God, come back and say the exactly same words. Whatever you see, I challenge you. Okay? Israeli society is the same society, exactly the society like other countries. They have a religious conflict, they have a political internal conflicts because a human. When two brothers live in one house, they never be agree with all the time with each other. Do you understand? Husband and wife never be not always agree with each other. So conflict is a beauty of democracy. It's a beauty of democracy. Conflict happens. People have a different opinions, different ideas, whether religiously, political, social, cultural, historical. Every person have a different ideas to express. Whether people like and we always say the human cannot be satisfied with other human 100%. No. So conflict within political and and political political domains in Israel. Okay, there's the same political conflict of ideas, and the same ideas in the UK, Canada, and America is same. But have a look at how the society is thriving. It's a multicultural society. It's not only a Jewish society. It's a multicultural society. You can see every single restaurant in Israel. You will see the Arabs inside. Honestly, I was having a conversation with my Arab friend, and I was telling you, I say how lucky you are in UK. He said how? He said I mean he visited Israel as well, and I said how is Israel? He said oh perfect, brilliant, lovely. He said I always go enjoy. I said man, let me tell you one thing. You enjoy in Israel more than me. He said how? I said look, I'm not Arab Muslim. I'm Asian Pakistani. I can't speak Arabic. I'm not Israeli. I can't speak Hebrew. I only speak English. You Arabs, you feel your home more than me because every sign in Arabic and Hebrew language, you take a bus or taxi, okay? Every which bus goes where, everything is Arabic and Hebrew. You call the taxi either Hebrew or Arabic. At one point when I wanted to call taxi, I was waiting 5-10 minutes on the road to ask one college Jewish college guy, young guy, and I say, excuse me, can you, it's mobile, use can call the taxi because he doesn't understand. I don't understand Hebrew or Arabic. And can you call and someone to bring? He said, okay, that's fine, no problem. And he calls, and the Arab taxi driver came, and I said, can you translate and tell him that take me to my hotel. Can you believe it? So I said, Arabs, you Arabs, Muslims, Arabs across the 21 country Arabs, if you go to Israel, you can you feel more home than me. Why? Because the same language over there. So if Israel is apart, now the question is if I were to say, if Israel is an apartheid state, why Arabic is easily a language is easily is spoken or mentioned everywhere? Why Arabs living over there, Israeli Arabs, nearly 1 million Arabs living in there, they feed their home, they work, they're judges, they are in the media, Arabs, Muslims, Palestinians, Israeli Arabs. Some people, and you know what, Danny, most of the people, again, I can say, I can cry or I can laugh. Honestly, this majority of the people living here in UK or even Pakistan or even the West, anywhere, they only know Palestinians are living in a West Bank or Gaza. That's it. They have absolutely no idea there are 1 million Israeli Arabs living in Israel with Israeli citizen. We have an Israeli passport. They travel all across the world as Israeli citizen, not a Palestinian, and they don't want to. They don't want to relocate from Israel to Palestine, Authority West Bank, or into Gaza, Area A or Area B, or into the Gaza. They don't want, because they know the exercise rights, opportunities, social services, benefits, facilities, luxurious life they get in living in Israel, being Israeli citizens, they cannot get anywhere outside Israel, in Gaza or West Bank. And they are very happy living their life. And again, I say, yep, political conflicts are different conflict. There's a political conflict everywhere. So, yes, Israel is a really democratic country in the Middle East, and people have absolutely right to express their political opinion, even the opinion goes against the state of Israel or it goes against any religious domain. But people have hold their opinion, and they can never be persecuted by the state based on expressing their political or religious rights. And I can challenge anybody. If I'm wrong, I can say, come with me and have a look at. That's I guarantee I can challenge openly this one, which I have seen.
Some people say that Israel has to do a better job of PR, of getting the word out there about the truth about Israel. Do you think that there is more that we can do, or is the misinformation about us, about Israel, so strong that there's nothing really that we can do? What are your thoughts on that?
Daniel, Israel cannot be perfect, cannot be good in every domain, isn't it? Every country have their own weaknesses, and every country have their own issues, problems, grievances, and issues in understanding how to deal the situation, how to deal the conflict, how to deal the ideological narrative. Okay. PR Israel has ever always failed in PR, honestly, and I tell this only publicly, always openly and publicly. I can say that Israel generating a strong and powerful Israeli narrative they have failed to produce because of the lack of understanding, because of the lack of their approaching how to deal the such type of information and disinformation warfare, which is very powerful. Islamist organizations are using this tool very effectively, very well, and we have an example of ISIS information warfare. I have never seen in my entire educational or networking circle in my counter in extremism field. I have never seen such a strong, powerful, valid, effective tool that have been used by ISIS than any other organization. And I can say easily admit that I have never seen any powerful organizations networking any country than Muslim Brotherhood. Even the states have failed to counter the narrative of Muslim Brotherhood. Not even in the Middle East, in the Western world. Western world is completely surrendered to this Muslim Brotherhood ideology. Honestly, I'm telling you. Okay, I'm not afraid to say anything. Israeli PR, they need to understand, actually. They have to think a little bit beyond, because sometimes what happened, I can say you honestly, Daniel, sometimes what happened is it's a human nature. When we have a more power, we become arrogant. Do you understand? And then we don't see, then don't want to bring our self to we don't downgrade for the time being in the way to understand other people very effectively, come to bring to the level of that person. And sometimes Israelis, they become arrogant. Do you understand? And they do not understand. They're just like, I can say, let me tell you one thing. Anti-Semitism. Now, anti-Semitism have a different sections: political anti-Semitism, historic anti-Semitism, religious anti-Semitism, cultural anti-Semitism. There are different stages. There are many more other stages of anti-Semitism. Now, any anti-Semitism come from Muslim community. They are politically, but more are religiously covered. Okay, religiously based anti-Semitism, because religiously they have a motivations against Jews and the state of Israel. Then they transfer into the political domain to achieve their goals, to fight the political domain, but actually their grievances come from the religious one. Now, when Israelis hold international conferences against Islamist anti-Semitism, they completely ignore the Islamic narrative. And let me tell you, this Islamist anti-Semitic Islamic ideology come from Islam, come from religious texts. We have to admit, because these Islamists, when you use Hadith and Quran, they twist, manipulate, distort the actual message or divine words mentioned in Quran and Hadith, and the way in the present in the way so that they can achieve their goals and generate hate against the Jewish community, which we know that. Now, those organizers, whether in Israel or the Jewish organizers across the world, especially Western, when they hold conference and they start criticizing Islam and those anti-Semitic Muslims, Islamists, they don't have any solution. They don't bring solution. Because of they don't have a solution. Who have a solution then? We have a solution. We few Islamic experts, Islamist theologians, students of religion, imams, scholars, those who support Israel's right to exist through the religious evidence. We have tools to use. But instead of inviting us, you invite atheist, secular, far-right people from the West, and they come and condemn Islam. So I can say this is just a photo session, failed PR, rather than counter Islamist, anti-Semitist narratives perfectly, accurately, effectively, completely. You can't, because we have the evidence how to count. We have tools. You don't. So you are inviting those people rather than us. We spend our life sacrificing, defending you, and still countering narratives, hateful narratives, which generated by our Muslim community through using our religious text. We are the ones who can give you a solution. No one else, not far right, atheist, English or European people. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, you can invite, but then don't discuss about Islamist anti-Semitism, religious anti-Semitism. When you discuss, then you have invited wrong people actually. Whether in the US, UK, Canada, Western country, or in Israel, these organizations. Then I can say the photo session. Photo is not going to save the life of the Jews, unfortunately, I'm sorry, by the Islamists. The local innocent people are giving their life, walking towards synagogue, and some barbaric animals are taking their life in the name of Islam based on conflict 5,000 miles away from the Western world. You can't save the life by bringing photo session, bring the people for the photo session in the conferences. And these are the very poor, failed PR. And I'm sorry, I'm writing in Jerusalem Post, other newspaper. I'm saying people, I don't know, honestly, these are the grievances I've always feel from my Israeli and Jewish community. But I will try my best. And I'm trying. I will not hold, they invite me. I have the other platforms. I'm using my platform because this is a part I'm playing. Is my side to save the Jewish lives from Islamists by any means. But it's a need a collective efforts, my friend. Collective efforts. So hopefully, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
I don't agree with you more. This is the reason why I want to, broadcast your voice to my audience, to hear
Thank you
voices
very
like
much.
yourself. Noor, I believe your name means light. Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
Yes. So to me, I think you're a light in this world. There's a lot of darkness, but at least we have somebody like you that can shine his light.
inshallah, inshallah.
I thank you for your courage, your bravery, and for standing with us through no matter what it costs for you personally. And I thank you for that. And I thank you for, making time out of your busy schedule to speak with me.
No problem.
And if there's any final message you want to leave us with before we end the, interview, you're more than welcome to.
Then I just final words, a few words I can tell pass to my Muslim community. That hating someone specifically on the reason of religion or political reasons is not a solution. Whatever for example, you say free Palestine. For example, you say free Palestine. Palestine is not going to be free because of your this hate or attacking Jewish people or filling the streets chanting a very hateful rhetoric and against the Jewish community. That's not going to you're going to achieve this goal. If you want to end this conflict between both nations, both people, then you have to use a very democratic way. Come sit with Israelis, with the Jews, keep your hatred, keep your biased information, biased attitude aside, sit on the table and talk, which we call table talk. On the one table, whatever grievances you have, bring it on it. Israelis are ready to talk. They are always open. They did not close the door. They never use any hatred, any violence against you Muslims across the world. Not. You have a courage to keep your hatred, keep your grievances, whatever you generated in your mind, aside. Be a civilized person, civilized human being, or at least you are Muslim, believe in you're Muslim, be a gentle Muslim. Show the attitude which you have learned from through the Quran and Hadith, which is called ikhlaq. And sit with them, because Prophet Muhammad he sat with pagans and said, come and sit, at least talk to me, listen to me. And if you agree, you become a Muslim. If you don't agree, no problem. Peace. I'm not here to force my religion over to you. This is exactly, come and sit with Israelis. Listen to their side as well. Maybe you are now 100%, you reject them. Maybe after a talk, you might be 10%, 20%, you agree with them. 80% not, then come back again. Do more research. Communication with two people can bring in some sort of agreement, some sort of solutions. So I always say hate is not a solution. You are not going to erase Israel from the map of the world. You cannot Israel the Jewish community because Allah has protected all communities, all religions. You cannot. Nazis have done, Pharaoh had done, Romans have done it. History goes for 5,000, 2,000, 1,700, 500, even 180, 85 years. Their people live and they will live according to divine ruling. They will live because of the creator of the Allah, the God. Talk to them. They are human like you. Mistake happens. Everyone does mistake. Politically, everyone have a mistake, conflict, and these situations. Understanding. Or we sit, talk. Both nations are going to stay there. Palestinians are not going to go. Gaza or Palestinian pancake or Israeli Arabs in Israel. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to hear. They will hear. And Israel, they're going to hear. The best way is sit and talk. This is a civilized and a political manner, isn't it?
Exactly.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Noor.
Daniel.
Thank you very
No problem.
much. Wishing you all the best and hope to speak with you soon.
Inshallah, look after yourself and be God. May Allah bless you, protect you. May Allah bless me. May Allah bless every person and those people living in across the world who seek, who want peace, who seek peace, who work for the peace between both nations, both communities, both countries, both religions. Whether they're living in Gaza, whether they're living in Palestine, whether they're living in West Bank, Israel, or anywhere, who want peace, may Allah protect them. May Allah bring them in the front and forward and accept their efforts for peace, inshallah.
Amen. Inshallah.
Inshallah.